College Thoughts.
Hey guys, welcome back. On today's episode, we will be talking about mental health. So, we won't be having a game time this episode. We're just trying to really go dive deep into mental health and bring awareness to it and give our perspective about mental health. So, mental health can be different in a workplace and within relationships. They can burn you out. They could be a lot to take in where you put in your all and you're burning yourself out and you're asking yourself, why are you drained? Why are you feeling some type of way and you don't know why, but in reality you're burning yourself out where you're draining yourself within your workplace or relationships with people.
Yeah, Jody pretty much said it best. Like, mental health is important in both situations, and it changes from situation to situation. Workplace mental health is it can be challenging when you're in college, um, or even in high school. Because I know when I was in high school, I was working like 40 hours a week, and then I was trying to do classes and all that stuff, and I wasn't there mentally. And since I wasn't there mentally, I wasn't putting all of my focus into my schoolwork. I was really just going to work, doing what I had to do, and coming home. Now I eventually did do my schoolwork. It eventually got done, but still, it's healthy to find that balance. Relationships go the same way. It's supposed to be 50-50. I understand that some days you might have to give extra or you might not be able to give as much, but you've just gotta, if you notice that you're going into a bad place, I recommend talking to somebody.
How to take care of yourself mentally and physically during hard times in college. This is a big thing that not a lot of, I'm not even going to say students, I would say people in general don't understand. I feel like, especially being a first generation student, where like it's very mentally and physically exhausting, where you burn out easily because you're putting in your all. You have all this pressure that you're putting on yourself and that others are putting on you to be so good and do well, where you don't know how to balance everything. So, especially in college, like knowing the difference and being in a new environment is very, very hard. But I would say you have therapy, there's resources on campus, um, there's counselors on campus you can talk to, there's other students you can talk to. Like, don't be afraid on, you're not in this by yourself. There's other students probably going through the same thing, or maybe even worse, that are just looking for somebody to listen to them. So like, listening can be also a good thing, but also talking about it and making it a well-known thing that this is not okay. Like, if you're mentally not okay and physically not okay, it's all gonna tear you down in the long end.
Yeah. Like I said, mental health is a big thing for college students. Um, it it is challenging, but there are resources, like Jody said. Um, I think that sometimes, especially like when you're a first year student, we put a lot on our plate. We're like, okay, so especially like if you were really active in high school, you're making the transition, and so you're like, oh, I did all this stuff in high school, it's going to transfer over to college, and it really doesn't. Even with like 8 a.m. classes, like I was always told, oh, even if you're used to waking up early for high school, don't do it in college if you don't naturally wake up early, which I can attest to because some people, I've seen it. Now, me, I don't mind getting up early, but I've seen the sleeping through the alarms and stuff like that. Um, so sometimes you have to put yourself in check. Um, don't try to do too much. So it's vastly different from high school. Um, like I said, it's a transitioning period, and the biggest stressors for humans is change. So once you get into the swing of things, they become more natural. But that first, even the first semester, you might be like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah. And I mean, like, once you're mentally not okay, like, you're gonna be emotionally not okay, physically not okay. Like, there's gonna be so many things that just drag you down with it. And you don't want to become a ticking time bomb. Like, you want to be at least okay. Even if there's something going on, you can at least say that you're okay, you're gonna make it through.
Right. Okay, depression, anxiety, bipolar, anything else? The depression is real. Depression is real. So I get it. Depression, anxiety. I get both of them. Ways to manage it in college. Like I said, keeping yourself in check. Making sure that you're doing what you have to do, and sometimes you have to put other people in check. Know your boundaries, know what you're willing to do and what you're not going to do. Therapy is a good idea. Like, if you think therapy will work for you, then go for it. Meds, if you weren't on meds before, there are different avenues. Even if you don't want to take meds, because I know a lot of people are hesitant about that, which I understand. I definitely say talking to somebody. Like a therapist, or even if it's one of your professors, normally they can help you, like, steer you in the right direction.
Yeah. I would say my biggest thing is probably anxiety. I suffer with test anxiety and anxiety in general, so like it's very hard for me. Like, I feel like my anxiety takes over, especially when it comes to overthinking. A lot of people don't understand that when it comes to with anxiety, you have a million things running in your head 24/7, which is actually really bad for college students, especially when you have to get sleep.
Real.
Because your head is running so fast and you're thinking about a million different things where you don't ever can fall asleep and like relax your body, because even while you're sleeping, your headspace just keeps on thinking and thinking and thinking, where it drives you crazy. But yeah, depression is real, especially in the last episode when we were talking about being homesick. Like, you can really get depressed because of it. And bipolar, I mean, people have it. There's other different disorders of mental health that are out there. I just named these top 3. There's so many to talk about, and there's so many different ones. But if you are having an issue, please reach out to someone. Like, even if it's someone that you're scared to reach out to, at least let them know what's going on. Because if not, you're just gonna you're not gonna be yourself ever again, And you want to be the most normal self you could be.
Yeah.
So, how to deal with change with your different emotions with being in a new environment. That's a big thing in college when you're moving from your house, and we kind of talked about it when we were talking about being homesick. Your emotions are going to be all over the place. You're moving to a brand new school, you're moving to a brand new place that you're going to be living at, you're living with a stranger or a friend, you're finally like kind of on your own, but you're not on your own. So your emotions are going to be all over the place. I'm gonna let you know right now, my emotions were all over the place. I can think about every single emotion, and it's like too much to list. But you have to, one, understand that when you're moving into college or you're going to college for the first time, even if you're not a first generation student, your feelings are 100% normal. Feeling anxious, feeling a little sad, feeling a little angry that like, oh, you're not going with your friends that went to a different school or whatever the case may be. All of those feelings that you are feeling are 100% normal. Now, you don't want to be so deep in your emotions where they become not normal, where okay, you got really sad and depressed and now you're not going to class because you're so depressed. Like that's a little too far. Where if you're feeling sad that day and you're like, okay, like let me do something else, but let me still go to class to get my work done, but like I'm gonna take a day, like a self-care day after class, that's okay, that's normal. But you know, when it's taken too far, that's when you have to like step back and realize and be like, whoa, okay, what's going on?
I definitely think you're right. When it starts affecting your schoolwork, well, you should reach out for help way before then. Like if you feel yourself starting to go downhill, reach out for help. But like when it starts affecting like your schoolwork or things that you do in your day to day life, and you notice changes, and not only do you notice a change, but other people notice changes, it's really time for you to reach out for help. Um, like Jody said, there's an array of different emotions that you go through when you're moving in. You're happy, sad, anxious, there's this like excitement mixed with dread. That's what I felt like because I was so excited, like, oh, I'm going to college, I'm finally doing what I want to do, but dreading the fact that, oh, I have to leave all of my friends, like, we're all going to different places. So it's definitely, or you'll definitely experience an array of different emotions. Um, but it's not always bad. Like I feel like sometimes it's easier to manage your emotions than at other times because move in, um I think I got over that pretty quick. Like, well, I was up here by myself for almost a week, but when everybody started coming to campus, I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. um Now if it's like, emotions because you just got out of a relationship or somebody died or something like that, then you probably need to get help, or like at your student counseling center. But I don't know. You just have to kind of find what works for you because it's a spectrum and not everything is going to work for everybody. Okay, so how to help yourself when you're in a bad place in life or just in the moment. There are many things you can do. Like I've said, reach out for help, but also, um, I think that it's okay to set boundaries and kind of just stop, maybe for like a day or two. Just say, hey, I'm going through a lot right now. I just need to take some time, decompress, let everything go. Reach out to your professors and say, hey, I might not be in class the next day or two. I'm going through a lot and I just need some time. Now, don't, because I know like sometimes we can take some time and we throw ourselves like a pity party and it lasts for a month and then you get so behind and you're like, oh, well, now I have to catch up, and then now you're all stressed all over again. So, no, take your time, work through whatever you're going through, and then get back at it. And it might be hard to start up again because you're like, oh, I'm dreading this. And that's okay. Life isn't always going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy all the time. If you've never gone through anything, have you ever truly succeeded? But, just take that time that you need, maybe like a day or two. And then after that, go back to your grind.
Yeah, I would have to say, I know from like my personal experience, my biggest problem was not understanding like your own emotions and what you're going through and the reason why, which I feel like is a big thing because, especially in like, I don't know, in like today's society, mental health is like very well known, talked about. But I feel like growing up, we didn't really get that until like beginning of COVID.
It's because I think our parents didn't really grow. Well, I know our parents didn't really grow up with that whole mental health thing. So like they weren't going to teach us about mental health. They didn't know. Like,
yeah. So it's also like you don't understand where like now finally the world is like opening up and like this is an issue that needs to bring awareness and needs to be well like known about and dealt with. So it's like really different. But I would say, like Kayla said, when you're in a bad place, like if you have people that are like saying like, okay, well, like you're switching up, what's going on? Um, is everything okay? Like things like that. just let them know and be like, hey, like, I'm going through it. I don't want to talk about it, because you never have to tell somebody your business if you don't want to. And just be like, take a day or two to like really try to understand yourself, try to see what's going on, and just sit in it. As much as you want to distract yourself from it, distracting yourself is just going to make it worse. I would say just sit in it, deal with it at the moment, because if you just keep distracting yourself and like, oh, you're hanging out or you're going to party every single night so you don't have to deal with your emotions, you're literally going to become a ticking time bomb where you're literally going to explode at the most randomest place ever. And you're going to explode and you're not going to understand why. And then you're going to look back and be like, I was literally distracting myself every single night because I didn't want to deal with this when I should have just dealt with it from the beginning. So our next thing is self-help / therapy, and understanding getting help in different types of therapy. So when you're getting help for yourself, you need to understand that you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for someone else. You're not doing it because someone told you to do it. You really have to put your all into it. And I'm not saying that you get a therapist or you talk to somebody the first time and all your problems are gone. It's not gonna happen.
No.
It's not gonna happen. I know from like what people have talked about with therapy, that getting to know your therapist or letting your therapist get to know you session by session, little by little, you actually build a good relationship at the end, where you're not going to be the first session, oh, well, I have these things that are going on and all of this is happening, and you're not going to be like that to a stranger. This person knows nothing about you. But it's also a good thing, because since this person knows nothing about you, they're not always going to pick your side. They're going to tell you when you're right and when you're wrong. And there is different types of therapy. Like, I know some therapists focus on like social anxiety or bipolar or depression and all these different emotions and things like that. So it just all depends. I would say, 1, do your research for sure. 2, if you are getting help, if you're a minor, let your parents know. And if you're not a minor, I would say at least let someone know that you're getting help, because you don't want someone that actually cares about you to be worrying. Be like, hey, like, I'm figuring it out. Don't worry about it, you know?
Like you said at the beginning, it's for you. Like, you have to want to change. And I feel like that's the biggest thing that stops people, is because people are always like, oh, I want to change. But on the inside, you don't. Because changing is hard and changing is stressful. And as much as you know you need to change, it's like, well, I've been managing for this long, so I'll be okay. But you won't be okay. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that when you're not okay mentally, it doesn't only affect it, it's not only affecting you, it's affecting everyone you interact with, especially your friends and your family. So getting help is a you thing. It is on you. You have to take that first step. There's nothing anybody can do for you, but you have to really want to make that first step. And I'll compare it to an addiction. Like, if you're addicted to a substance or something, or alcohol or anything, and you know you need help, but it's just like, man, do I really want to like go through all that time? Do I really want to give up my substance of choice? Do I really, like, all that time and effort that you're going to put into it? Is it really something that you want to do in the moment? And the answer's probably going to be no. But to save yourself in the long run, to save the people that you care about, your mental health, you need to get help. You need to want to get help, because nobody can make you want it. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So, okay. So, how has mental health impacted us also while being on campus? Yeah, I can say it's actually gotten drastically worse since
We should not be laughing about this.
since being here. I'm not gonna lie. And it's not because like oh, our school sucks or anything. We go to a pretty good school. It doesn't suck. But I am from a small town where everybody knows everybody, which can cause a lot of drama at times. But anyway, everybody knows everybody. So I miss that sense of community, like where I could go somewhere and I just know where I am. Now it just seems like I've been thrown into like this melting pot, and I love that it's so diverse here because diversity is good, and I love the diversity. But I feel like I don't know. I've just been thrown into a place, and I know I have to make myself not fit because I don't have to like conform, but I have to find my place here. So I think that trying to find my place has been one of the most mentally draining things that I've gone through while being here. But other than that, I guess it's pretty good most days.
I would have to say, like Kayla said, it's gotten worse, but I think
Sorry.
I kind of did it to myself.
It'd be like that,
Like, I feel like actually, I take that back. I feel like I did it to myself, but also the pressure of other people have put on me have also made it worse. And I'm not talking about getting peer pressure into doing anything. I'm talking about the pressure that you get as a first generation student from your family, your parents, your friends, your own inner self, because you are your worst enemy.
You're your worst critic.
So it's just like, I feel like I have made it worse myself, but it's also that like when I do try to make it better and like talk to like my family about it, and I don't really want to say that my family's bad or nothing, because they're not. They all love me and I know it's all a good cause, but sometimes when it's that, you'll be fine, I don't want to hear that. Like, I literally don't want to hear that, because on the inside I am breaking. This is my last straw. I am going through it. So it's just like, you kind of do it to yourself in a way.
True.
How does social media impact your mental well-being? I went a good 3 years. Yeah. I was just not thinking about that. Lord. I went 3 years without Snapchat, without Instagram, without Twitter. And I went 2 years without TikTok.
Yeah, I don't even get on social media, guys. It's actually really bad. I should actually start promoting stuff for the podcast on my social media. I just never get on social media, so
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess we did say in that one episode, like, it has its good qualities and its bad qualities.
Yeah.
I'm just not the person to ask.
But I also feel like, sorry to cut you off.
No, we're gonna say.
But it also feels like I've had friends that like have compared themselves
to
other people on social media, and it's just like that whole overthinking and not knowing.
Why are you dragging me into it? I don't care, girl.
You know, like, it's that whole thing where like you have to know that like it has its good and its bad, but like social media was made to be good, but since society has taken it over, it's just it has its good parts and its bad parts, but it's mostly bad in my opinion.
I think some people are just too chronically online. Like genuinely, some people need to touch grass. Like, when you're online to the point where
you don't know what day it is.
And then you have like so many triggers. Like you're like, oh no, like this would get you canceled online. Baby, we don't care. We're living in the real world. We're not living online. We're not living online. We are not living online. And I understand that there are some things that are acceptable and some things that aren't acceptable. But all this other like online stuff that's like not mainstream, like, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that. Baby, put the phone down. Put the phone down.
Or like some people that be like, did you just say that? You know, if you said that online, you would get canceled.
Literally, baby, we are not online. This is,
And if we were online, what is the problem?
This is
you
the
have
real
a
world.
freedom of speech.
This is the real world. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand how some people let social media run their lives. Like, so.
And this is why TikTok is getting banned. You know?
Maybe we don't know. I don't know. I just feel like some people let social media run their life. Like, how you get on TikTok and scroll for hours, you don't even know what time it is. That's alarming. I've never done that.
Oh.
I mean, now I think I spent too much time on TikTok, which is the reason why I deleted it. And I don't get on TikTok today. I just have it. But yeah, read a book, watch our podcast, something like, girl. What resources or support systems do you rely on when dealing with mental health challenges? I deal with it by the thugging it out method. And no, you shouldn't do this.
Don't listen to Kayla. Don't listen to Kayla.
Okay,
Kayla,
but listen,
you're about to get canceled.
I'm not gonna get canceled. But listen, I am a firm believer in you should get help if you need help. But I am also a firm believer in if you can do it yourself, if you can work through your problems yourself, then do that. Like, take the path of least resistance. Like, okay, if you have to go get help, then go get your help. But if you can just sit with yourself in that area, and it might be uncomfortable, sit with yourself in that place and deal with your problems, then deal with it, okay? Thugging it out might not be the best method, but I've been doing it and I'm fine. Don't look at me like that. I knew you were gonna look at me. I knew you were gonna look at me. Don't look at me like that.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. You know what they say, though.
You know what they say.
Okay, so I feel like if you are willing to get help for yourself, go get help. But if you're gonna take Kayla's perspective and thug it out, understand what it is to thug it out.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna thug it out, and then you're taking Tom Bomb. Like,
Yeah.
no. At that point, go get help. But you also can't just, oh, I'm gonna get a therapist, and then you don't tell your therapist anything. Because then it's like, you're wasting money, who's ever paying for the therapy, insurance, your own pocket, whoever's paying for it. And you're really wasting time because you're there saying that everything's okay when in reality you just don't want to open up.
Yeah, what's the point of wanting therapy if you're just gonna say everything's okay?
If there's something wrong, like, speak about it. That's like if something was to happen, or you were somewhere and something bad happened, like, you'd rather just be honest and tell the truth than lie about it. And about your support system, I feel like it can be really anyone, but you know, Kayla just be thugging it out.
Yeah, but in thugging it out, you can't, like, bother other people. Like, okay, go to your friends for advice if you need advice. But if you're starting to, like, oh, I'm thugging it out, but you're not thugging it out, you're just making everybody deal with what you're going through, then you're not thugging it out. Then you're not thugging it out. You've missed the whole point. The whole point is to act like everything is okay, and you're thugging it out. But if you're making everybody else's problem, then you need to go get therapy. That's when thugging it out is no longer thugging it out. It's therapying it out, because that's what you need.
Yeah. And it's okay to have a therapist.
Yeah.
It is 100% okay.
I probably need one right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone needs one. I believe that everyone needs a therapist.
How does someone with a family background that does not believe in having mental health issues help themselves? Ooh. Well.
Well.
You know, I don't think that when my mom was growing up, they didn't really push mental health. Like, they knew depression was a thing, but it was still like, that girl's depressed. She needs to go somewhere. Like, they were still doing that. They were like, she's depressed. Take her somewhere. Like, but I think that because my mom grew up, you know, recognizing the signs and in herself, like, knowing that, you know, maybe sometimes she wasn't okay mentally, even though her parents might not have advocated for mental health, my mom advocates for mental health, and so does my dad. It differs a little, but both of my parents are very supporting of like, okay, if you're not doing okay mentally, you need to go talk to somebody, or like you need to try something different. Like, this is not okay. We're not just gonna let you sit here and thug it out.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad that happened for me. But if they, I don't know. If they don't believe in mental health, then they don't believe in mental health.
I feel like there's a lot of family backgrounds. I feel like especially in the Hispanic culture where they don't believe in like mental health issues. Where my family, most of them, have been very like eye-opening about it. And I believe that like COVID really opened when COVID happened, it really opened everybody's eye because like you were in a place where you don't know what to do and you were kind of like going crazy and like everybody was going crazy. So but I would say if you are in a family and you are a minor where you are under the age of 18 where you can't get help for yourself, please talk to your school counselor. They are more than welcome to help you, and you can literally just sit in their office and be like, hey, can we meet once a week every 25, like for 25, 30 minutes, and I just have to vent to you. Like, I would literally just have to vent to somebody. I can't talk to my parents because they don't believe in mental health issues, and this is what's going on, and they will guide you to get help. Now, if you are above the age of 18, and your family's just not understanding about it, remember that not everybody has to know your business. Like, if you're going to help yourself, nobody needs to know what you're doing. It's for yourself. It's for your own well-being. So if you want to go that route, go that route. Do it for yourself. Do it to better yourself. So yeah. Some coping skills that work for us when it comes to mental health. Me, going for a walk, listening to music. I go for walks.
I never said anything.
You looked at me like if I don't go for walks.
I never said anything.
You know
you
what
don't
it
go
is?
for walks here.
Cause I walk to class. That's my.
I'm so sorry.
You know. Okay, just because you went to the gym today.
I went to the gym today, guys. What can I say?
Kayla went to the gym today,
What can I say?
she came back acting like a whole different person.
I'm in so much pain. I can barely move. It hurts.
Remember, your bed is 5 feet in the air.
It is. I haven't been in it since I got back from the gym.
Listening to music. I like to draw. I have a sketchbook. Yeah, Kayla, you never knew about it. It's hidden in my room, so nobody can ever find it.
Okay, I
Yeah.
never said. I mean, dang.
No, because you texted me today. Your texts today were a little,
No, I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I go to sleep. No, they're like, oh, that's not healthy coping. Yes, it is.
No, Kayla takes a power nap, okay? She doesn't, like, go to sleep and sleep her problems away. She literally takes a power nap, and then she wakes up, and she's like, boom, bam, what are we doing?
Yeah, I'll go to sleep. Or I'll go home. I'm not even gonna lie. My worst days when it gets real bad, I just go home. Like, I just can't take it anymore. I'll go home.
I feel like you go home, as much as you don't want to say this, but it's because you need your mama.
No, it's not even because I don't want to say it. I do need my mom. The fuck? That was so involuntary.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
Well, anyway, yeah, I do go home because I need my mother. And it's like, I just want to be at home. Like, if you were from where I'm from, and I know some of you are who are watching this, you would get it, that tight knit community that like, I need to go home. Like, I don't even have to go home. I just need to be in my town. So, yeah. How do you manage stress and academic pressure while being a student and dealing with mental health? It's a great question. How do you deal with stress and academic pressure while being a student and dealing with mental health? I'm really no help. I'm really no help because I'm just gonna tell you to thug it out because that's just the mentality I have. I've been conditioned to have that mentality.
I feel like this whole episode has answered this question.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I feel like there's no answer. You just gotta, if you need the answer for this, rewatch the whole entire podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
Because we're alive, you know. We're gonna look back at this episode one day when we're graduating and like the podcast is finally over with, and we're gonna laugh.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna laugh.
You're gonna laugh. You're gonna be like, "This is so cringy."
Who has ever laughed like that?
Okay.
But I don't know, like, manage it. Don't manage it. Thug it out. Don't thug it out. Who knows?
Okay, next thing, because before we get into the thugged. Okay, time for random questions.
Woo!
You want to do the first one?
Yeah. In your opinion, what are some effective ways for college students to manage their time and prioritize their mental health?
Take a self-care day.
Take
a day off.
Buy a planner. Because if you're not actively like writing stuff down, you're probably not gonna remember it. I know a lot of people in high school, they're like, "Oh, I have this assignment due, and I'll just." You won't. There's so much to do. I promise you, you won't remember 54 assignments that you have to do in 1 week. You're not gonna remember it.
Yeah.
So invest in a planner.
They even have them at the dollar store. You know, cheap.
Yeah. Sleep schedule. I know it's really hard for a lot of us, but like, if you can get yourself on a schedule, you don't have to follow it to a T. Like, oh, every night I have to go to sleep at 10 p.m. and I have to wake up at 5. But you can be like, okay, I want to go to sleep between the hours of 10 and 12 and wake up between the hours of like 7 and 8. And you can do that. Just don't stay up until 3 a.m. There's nothing to do. At 3 a.m. What are you doing? Go to bed.
Well, I mean, there was the party at the fountain over the past weekend.
Well, I didn't go. Obviously. Obviously, I didn't go.
I didn't go either, so. Saw it on Snap, though.
Yeah, it was all over Snap.
I think just getting a planner. I say that all the time. If it's not written in my planner, it's not getting done. So, how has college impacted your view of mental health, and what improvements would you make to on-campus mental health resources? I would say one thing I would like for our campus to have would be like mental health resource pop-ups, where like, because I feel like not a lot of people know where they're located.
We have Wellness Wednesdays every Wednesday.
But that's Trio.
No, that's not Trio. That's a school.
But if that was Trio.
But I think it's like you take a walk. I think you go on a walk. It's not Trio. Trio does Wellness Wednesday sometimes, but the school does Wellness Wednesday every week.
No, but I'm talking about like them picking a location like College Avenue and just setting up like a pop-up thing. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
I've never used the on-campus mental health resources. Can't really do anything on campus. They don't take my insurance. So
me neither. So
so I guess I couldn't get help even if I needed it.
Yes, you can.
No, I could.
Yes, you can.
That doesn't require your insurance. I'm not sure like if seeing them on a regular basis would require them to use your insurance or not. But I think that if I just popped in there and I said, hey, I'm dealing with something, I need to speak to somebody. The way college has impacted my view of mental health is, I think, like, I've always known that change was difficult, even going through changes, like, in high school. but I had never been through a change so significant, like, besides, death, but a change so significant where I'm like picking up and leaving everything that I've ever known. So I think that it wasn't like, it didn't, I guess it didn't impact my view of mental health, but like it let me see that, well, for one, I'm stronger than I thought I was, because I never thought I'd be able to just like pick up and like leave, but I did. But it also let me see that I can make it, I guess.
Yeah. We can skip the third question.
Okay.
Quote of the day. Again, I picked this from a random list of quotes. I never said it would be easy. I only said it would be worth it. I think that says it for itself.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta thug it out, man. I don't know what else to
Okay,
say.
the next episode, quote of the day is gonna be "Thug it out like Kayla."
Yeah, make it. I'm gonna get that tattooed on me, actually, right now. Okay, so mine is "Going in Circles" by the Friends of Distinction. Luther Vandross also sings that song. But they sing it, man. Sorry, Luther.
Okay, mine is "Imagine" is the translation in English. "Imaginaste" by J. Cole and Tiny. So yeah. Don't forget to put your mamas on. I feel like we haven't said that in a minute.
Oh yeah, we didn't say that last episode. I'm so sorry. Put your mama on. My mama loves this podcast.
Yeah, my mama does too. Don't forget to put your friends on. Don't be afraid to share. It can help so many people. Or it could just make y'all laugh at us. Who cares? Don't miss out on all the fun, laughter, tears, etc. Subscribe to Deep College Thoughts on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Deep College Thoughts. Follow our personals, which are behind Kayla.
I'll put them on the screen.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.